Syracuse football is going to be the second best team in the ACC. Remember when everyone was saying that before the season? Welcome into sports. I'm Jaron May. Those were the good times. Many believed the Orange would compete for a conference title and had Orange Bowl aspirations. Now, SU fans will be lucky if they even get to watch their team in a bowl game. The Orange are just 3-5 on the season and remain winless in the ACC after a blowout loss in Tallahassee last Saturday. Syracuse fell to Florida State 35-17, and it was all thanks to Cam Akers. The Seminoles running back torched the Orange for 145 rush yards and 4 touchdowns. That's the most he's ever had in a single game. Syracuse offensive line struggles continued as they let up 7 sacks, upping the season total to 42. The loss drops SU to 0-4 in conference play, and after the game, head coach Dino Babers was not pleased with his O-line performance.
Everything is not down to players and formations. We got plenty of formations, okay, and we can try all kinds of stuff. It really comes down to elephants and hippos. And the more secure you are up front, the more things that you can do with everything else. If you got a heck of a cake, you can put all different types of icing on it, and everybody likes it. But if you got a cake that tastes bad, it doesn't matter what kind of icing you put on it. So it always comes down to me, to the O-line and the D-line. If you're secure there, you can start growth everywhere else.
Now, if you're like most people and need a pick-me-up after this disappointing football season, I have the cure: Syracuse basketball. The Orange have an exciting young roster and are getting ready for the regular season. But before they focus on opening night next Wednesday, they have to get through tonight's exhibition game. Syracuse is hosting the Carleton University Ravens tonight at 8 o'clock. The Ravens are coming from Canada, but are no pushover when it comes to basketball. They are a Canadian powerhouse that has 14 national championships, including the 2019 title. It should be a good test for the Orange to see where they are headed into the regular season. Head coach Jim Boeheim says he likes to use these preseason games to work out the kinks.
Now straight away for the other Tyrell. Gives it up to Chevry, the freshman. Far side, Constantino. Now Carney. Goal line extended, who retreats 20 yards from Cage. Trying to find Emily Harris-Chuck, cannot. Harris-Chuck can't get free. Now Megan Tyrell, goal line extended near side. Shot clock down to 30, game clock at 10:30. Gives it up to Harris-Chuck, finally gets free. A dodge on the inside, ball hits the deck. Some good defense right there by Megan Doherty, who causes the turnover against one of the best offensive players in the entire country, in Emily Harris-Chuck. Now Harris-Chuck comes up with the steal. It's a 2-on-1. Harris-Chuck and Carney. Harris-Chuck to Cage, gives it up to Carney. 1-on-1, and a save by McSally. McSally kicks her legs out and saves it with her foot and keeps this game at just 2 goals.
An incredible sequence. A yard sale against the Maryland clearing attempt. Stick goes loose, and then a 2-on-1. The 2 top offensive players on this team.
2 best. You have Megan Carney and Emily Harris-Chuck coming right at you, and somehow Maddie McSally comes up with the save, not afraid of one of 2 of the best players in the entire country. Either way, Syracuse gets the ball back, still has another offensive possession. Harris-Chuck, left side, dodges right, now tries to come back left. Ball hits the deck. Instead, Harris-Chuck comes up with it, and now a wide pass ends up in a turnover for Syracuse.
Maryland comes back. That's the turning point. That's the play of the game from Maddie McSally. 2-on-1, a body save against the shot from Carter.
That was one of the most impressive saves I've seen. We've talked about how good Asa Goldstock has been. That specific save right there by McSally was outstanding. 7-5, 9 minutes to go in the game. Maryland on the offensive zone, working from right to left. Robin straight away. Good on-ball pressure by Syracuse defense. Now Lou Becker, who has a goal in this game, tries another one at Cage. But another save by Asa Goldstock, who went to her knees and finally got her big spoon down there at the last second and keeps this game at 7-5.
Lou Becker went through the 5-hole on her free position. That time, Goldstock drops all the way to her knees to make sure she prevents that from happening again.
So now 7-5, 8:30 to go in the game. 70 on the shot clock. Syracuse in the offensive zone. Chevry, right side, gives it up to Megan Tyrell. Tyrell jogs back to X. Swings it over far side for Megan Carney, who passes it back out. Mary Rahal straight away. Syracuse ring around the rosy with the ball. Now Sam Swart jogs across the middle, gives it up to Emily Harrischuk, who's guarded by Doherty. Harrischuk thinks about his shot, doesn't have anything. Now gives it up to Tyrell, who's crossing over the middle. Tyrell tries to get her hands free, can't do it. Righty cradle, back to X, 30 on the shot clock. 7:40 on the game clock. Emily Harrischuk behind Cage, over to Megan Carney straight away. One-on-one for Carney. A sidewinder, shoots and scores! 8-5, 7:30 to go. Megan Carney scores again, and Syracuse extends its lead to 3.
That's a big-time shot. Carney, they've run a lot of plays for her on the goal line extended, to a lot of isolations. She hasn't really been able to get a shot off, but she gets her first goal of the game there, does the attacker. 18 goals on the year for Carney, second on the team, only behind who? Oh, Emily Harrischuk at her 33.
Both of those players, and we were just talking about them in that big sequence where McSally had a big save. Harrischuk and Carney couldn't get a goal. Now it's a assist goes to Emily Harrischuk, and a goal goes to Megan Carney. 8-5, 7:30 to go in the second half. A thriller here in College Park.
5 points on the day for Emily Harrischuk.
5 points. That's 4 goals and 1 assist. That last goal, like we said, was her 200th of her career. Now Wyden back at the circle against Kaylee Hartshorn, who's been there this entire day. Ref setting the ball between their two sticks. Sarah Cooper and Grace Fahey roaming around the circle. Hartshorn and Widener battling just to be able to get the ball between their two sticks. This has been a storyline throughout this entire game, how long these draws are taking to finally set up. Ref taking a long time to be able to get the ball in there. 8-5, 7:30 to go. Finally, ball is set, flipped up, and Grace Fahey comes up with it. So Syracuse gets the draw control. Fahey flips it off to Tyrell, and she jogs to goal line extended as Fahey jogs off. A couple different middies coming in for the Orange. Sarah Cockle jogs on. Ball's behind Cage, now out to the front for Emily Harrischuk, far side. She's liked to work on that left side so far today. She has 4 goals. Now Swart. Over to Bianca Chevry, now goal line extended, and just around the outside goes the ball for Syracuse. The Orange content to waste the clock. 55 on the game, or 55 on the shot clock rather. 6:50 on the game clock. Sierra Cockrell straight away, crossing over the middle goes Bianca Chevry. She gives it up to Emily Harrischuk. Hot hand, 4 goals. Now Tyrell. Tyrell over to Megan Carney, who just had that last one, trying to find Rahal on the inside. Ball goes almost out of bounds, but is finally saved by Sierra Cockrell. Shot clock down to 30, game clock at 6:30. 8-5 for Syracuse. Sierra Cockrell on the inside doesn't have anything. Sam Swart hits the deck with the ball, and a yard sale. Her stick hits the floor as well as the ball, and a foul against Syracuse. So
Sam Swart ended up trapping the ball a little bit when she went down.
Okay, a trap against Syracuse. Good eyes right there from Jacob Kronberg. 8-5, 6 minutes to go, and a turnover by Maryland. Ball flies out of bounds as they were trying to clear, and both teams have really struggled trying to clear the ball. Some good rides by the opposing attacks. So now Syracuse back out on the offensive, and the Syracuse sideline having some fun, getting some energy, as they can see they have a 3-goal lead with only 5:30 to go.
Something worth taking a note, you look in the crowd here today, it's pretty much split Maryland and Syracuse, and the Syracuse fans have been on their feet this whole game.
A lot of Syracuse faithful in Maryland. I mean, when you talk about it, Baltimore in this Maryland DMV area really produces a lot of great lacrosse players. That's why the University of Maryland is so great, and Syracuse has a couple Maryland products as well, including their best defender, Sarah Cooper.
Yeah, and a lot of Maryland's team played together in high school. You talk about the DMV producing great lacrosse. A lot played it together. 6 players on this team played at McDonough High School.
McDonough, a great high school for women's lacrosse. Sierra Cockrell on the inside, tries to get a shot off, and a save by McSally. Bounced off her shoulder, Another body save for the sophomore, and Syracuse back there after the ball flew out of bounds. Another opportunity for them and a fresh shot clock. A fresh 90, 4:50 on the game clock.
That McDonough High School won 198 games in a row, Jaron.
A couple national titles as well. A couple straight national titles, rather. Either way, this Syracuse team, who didn't have McDonough products, are showing up some McDonough products from Maryland. Up 3 goals.
Against the reigning national champs. National champion, big thing for lacrosse in Maryland.
Megan Tyrell has a goal line extended 20 yards away. Now Sam Swart retreats to the outside, gets past her defender. Sam Swart, doorstep bouncer. Yes! 9-5, the Syracuse lead extends to 4 with 4 minutes to go in the second half, and the Orange starting to feel this win coming on.
And now, a Z89 Sports Update.
Good morning, Syracuse. This is Jaron May. SU men's basketball took care of business last night, downing Pitt 72-49. The game produced a weird box score, to say the least. Elijah Hughes led all scorers with 25. That's expected. But what is unexpected was Buddy Boeheim being held scoreless and Barama Sidibe not fouling out while also turning in a double-double with a season-high 13 points and 10 boards. Despite the odd box score, the win bumps the Orange to a game above 500 in the ACC. Next up, they face UNC in the final home game of the year on Saturday. As for Syracuse women's basketball, it heads down to Raleigh to take on number 8 NC State tonight. The Wolfpack have lost 3 straight at home, but the Orange haven't won in William Neal Reynolds Coliseum since 2016. Game time is set for 8, but tune in at 7:40 for Orange women's warm-up. That's tonight, but then tomorrow we will have coverage of Syracuse women's lacrosse as it hosts the reigning national champs, the Maryland Terrapins. SU is riding high after winning 4 straight, while UMD has dropped its last 2. Either way, it's a top 10 matchup, and it should be a good one in the Dome tomorrow at 3. Pre-game coverage starts at 2:40. In some professional hoops, the Nets fell to the Wizards 110-106 last night, and the Knicks had the same fate, losing 107-101 to the Hornets. Finally, I know it doesn't seem like baseball season in central New York right now, but down in Florida, it sure does. That's where the Yankees bested the Nationals 8-2, and the Mets got bested by the Astros 4-2 in some spring training bouts yesterday afternoon. That'll do it for your Z89 Sports Update. I'm Jaron May.
It is pouring here in Chestnut Hill, and that's the epitome of what Syracuse women's lacrosse had to deal with when they faced top-ranked Boston College today. You know when your heart is just ready for a win, but in those last 17 seconds of the game, it just gets broken? Syracuse had to deal with that when Boston College went on a 4-0 run to end the game and come out with a 14-13 victory in the ACC tournament semifinals.
You know, those are some amazing players out there on that BC team, and they weren't giving up, and they made the plays at the end and that they had to win the game, and we didn't. So, but we did, prove to ourselves that we can play with anybody. And if we can clean up our mental mistakes, we can beat anybody. So,
the loss eliminates the Orange from the ACC tournament, but now they'll have some time to rest up and practice before the NCAA tournament in a couple weeks. Reporting from Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, Jaron May, CitrusTV. Duke to inbound underneath the basket on the right side. Straumina guarding the inbounder. That's Boykin. Can't get it in, and that's a 5-second call. A great defensive stand right there for the Orange. They get the ball back with 3:50 to go.
Both teams now have exactly 11 turnovers, so that's evened out more in Syracuse's favor here in the second quarter.
Hyman on the right wing, now back to Lewis. She finds Strautmana on the left side. Back to Hyman, fires a 3, too strong, back rim and out. And Boykin pulls down the rebound. Now on the other end, an easy 2 on the inside for Liana Odom. She is on fire, leading this Duke squad with 10 points so far. Now Lewis down the other way, drives the left lane, and a foul called on her layup attempt. She'll head to the stripe.
Liana Odom up to 12 points, 6 for 7 from the floor in this first half. Also has 4 rebounds. She has not come off the floor once so far for Duke.
Kiki Lewis at the stripe, a 71% free throw shooter so far this year. Syracuse down by 12. And her first shot does not fall, hits back rim, hits front rim, but does not hit the net. She'll have one more chance at the line. Second one is up and no good, and Syracuse struggling from the free throw line, just 3 for 7 in this game. Boykin on the right wing. Syracuse back to its 2-3 zone. Some good defense by Lewis. Boykin on the right side gives it up to Williams. Now Baines on the left. On the inside now a new face, Patrick, and she gets her first shot to fall. 2 points for Jada Patrick. She's only averaging 6.5 minutes per game, but she gets her first shot to go. Blue Devils up 37-23 as we're under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Lewis orchestrating her offense. Hyman on the right wing, back to Lewis. She pushes it to Cooper on the left side. Now Stroutman on the inside and a steal by Odom. The Blue Devils get another steal. Syracuse another turnover, and Gurecki on the offensive. Calls out a play and finds Boykin on the right wing. Standing on top of the Carrier logo, Lewis comes out to guard her. Now Odom at the top of the key. Stroutman against her. Gurecki drives the right lane, kick out for Boykin, fires a three, nothing but nets. A beautiful shot and a beautiful play by Michaela Boykin, who spots up in the corner and makes it a 40-23 game. Syracuse down by 17, but down the other way, Kiki Lewis shows off her handle and a spin layup for 2, back down to a 15-point deficit.
First points in over 3 minutes for Cuse.
As Boykin knocks down another 3, that one square away. Boykin kind of catching fire in this second quarter as we hit under 2 minutes to go. A foul against the Blue Devils. Kiki Lewis drew it, and Syracuse in the bonus, so Lewis will head to the stripe. A sub for Duke. Goodchild comes in as Azana Baines heads to the bench. Syracuse will counter. Jaldi Tabdi heads to her teammates as Emily Anxler comes back in.
Boykin's someone for Duke who's really battled injuries throughout her career. 2 separate ACL tears and just her 7th game back in the lineup. She's got 9 points in 9 minutes so far tonight. Only averages 3.5 points a game.
Boykin 3 for 3 from beyond the arc in tonight's affair as Lewis knocks down both of her free throw attempts. It's a 43-26 game with 1:30 to go in the second quarter. Duke crosses over the timeline. The new face, Patrick, with the ball square away. Boykin has the hot hand over to Gurecki. Back to Boykin on the left wing, left alone, fires a 3. Yes! Oh my. Michaela Boykin continues to be hot. 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. It's a 46-26 game with a minute to go in the second quarter. And now a block down the other way. Duke blocks Cooper. That was Jada Patrick in on that one. And another 3. Why not? Michaela Boykin, 4 threes in a row, and she's 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. Syracuse can't stop her. 49-26, under a minute to go in the second. Stroutman, turnaround, a little floater. She kisses it off the backboard and in for 2. So Syracuse finally gets some points on the board. But Boykin has the hot hand. She has it square away. Syracuse finally a hand up on her. Gets it into Patrick. Step back at the right elbow, no good. A long rebound goes to Emily Anxler. And Lewis calls for it. Looks up to the clock. Shot clock off. 20 on the game clock. Syracuse can hold for the last shot.
And this really getting ugly here, Jared. And Boykin, they just had to get out on her, and they kind of refused to do it even though she was the hot hand. No awareness from the Syracuse team.
Lewis on the left wing, 2 screens on the right side, uses both of them, drives down the right lane, layup up, no good. Offensive rebound fought for. It was last touched by the Blue Devils. Stroutman got in on that, and Boykin touched it last, so Syracuse has another chance. 3.5 seconds to go. Lewis to trigger the inbounds. Finds Stroutman, right corner, fires a 3. That hits the side of the backboard, and that's how this first half will end. 49-28.